always fun when our friends from New Hampshire Technical Institute come in because I learned something. And it's always fun and nice in life, at least what I think, is when you learn something. And I am always amazed at the great work and people at New Hampshire Technical Institute. They're the not the oldest. They're the first of our community college schools. And they're also the most affordable. The lowest tuition in the state offered by the 7 community colleges. And yesterday I was talking about the trades, and I'm a big fan, but they offer a lot more there. And their commencement is coming up. I think it's May 15th. Hard to believe. But we have, I'm going to ask Kelly to introduce herself again because you have a great panel here in our studios, and this is a very important subject.
Thank you, Jack. Good morning.
Addiction, I just want to say this because I talked the other day about this. Behavioral health, mental health, number 1 health issue and problem and challenge facing, and I always hold up this patch from another school, no offense, but I know you work together, University of New Hampshire, Durham. This is from the chief of public safety, and they came in with an honor coin in this and a comfort dog because the number 1 public safety call on campus for students and faculty when they're in session is not a broken window in a dorm room. It's behavioral health, anxiety, depression, or something to do with addiction and substance abuse. Number 1.
Yes.
And we don't talk about it in our society. And you're doing something about it you have a program there for people to study how to go and help families and people through addiction. Take it away, Kelly, and introduce our guest.
Thank you, Jack. I'm Kelly Luedtke. I'm the Department Chair for Human Service and Addiction Counseling at NHTI. And I couldn't agree more with you, Jack. I think it's time that we stop being the hidden gem of New Hampshire and we really start letting people know that what we do here at NHTI, the services that we can offer, and the education. So today we have an alumni with us, Brian Daniels, and he's going to talk about his love for NHTI. And I also have a person who's been in addiction, the profession for maybe 30 years and also teaches adjunct in our program and brought a very specific program to NHTI that I think New Hampshire would love to hear about.
Do you mind if we start with you on the program that you brought? I want to hear about it.
Well, yes. Good morning, Jack. My name's Pete Dalpra, and I'm a licensed alcohol and drug counselor and a licensed clinical supervisor. I graduated from this program back in 1994. Wow. And have been working in the field of substance use disorder.
This program has been around since 1994?
Correct.
Program actually started in the mid-'80s.
Wow.
And most of the leaders in the state of New Hampshire in this program
Can I just interrupt with one question? Because we have time today, by the way. I'm gonna blow out a few. I want to go longer than I want to do a few more slides. Kelly, I got to ask you this. You know this. I don't want to be a hypocrite. Both my kids went through the university system, UNH Durham, Plymouth State. But one of my kids also went through NHTI for special education. And no disrespect to our 4-year friends, okay? Do they have a program at UNH Durham, Plymouth State, or Keene going back that far on addiction and alcohol and drug substance as you? Did they have a similar program?
Not that I'm aware of, Jack.
I rest my case.
Yeah.
Continue, please.
Well, in the 30 years or so I've been practicing, I ran or saw a number of residential treatment facilities. And one of the programs that NHTI offered was to have students come in to learn the trade in working in real time. And I always was able to count on those students to not only complete their studies, but that to go on and continue and do the work in this state that was really needed. I retired from full-time clinical work a couple of years ago, but I've been teaching at NHTI as an adjunct since 2015.
Wow.
And about 5 years ago...
Thank you for doing that.
About 5 years ago, Kelly asked me to build a course with her for a specific credential that's really needed in this state. It's called a Certified Recovery Support Worker.
Okay, Certified Recovery Support Worker. Okay.
Right, and this was a credential that was built into our rules back in 2008 during a time where there was a wicked workforce shortage across the entire country in the substance use profession. We were able to go out to California with a group of counselors from the New Hampshire Alcohol and Drug Abuse Counselors Association to attend an annual meeting where we learned that the state of California had implemented this peer support credential because they were in that same workforce crisis. And they were able to add 3,000 employees to their various workplaces across the state. Wow. So coming back at the same time, we were working in creating a master's level alcohol and drug counselor license. And so we tied in this credential into that legislation. It went into rules in 2008, and the first CRSW was made in 2011. That person still has that certification, and they were a graduate of this program.
Wow. Kelly, and before we introduce Brian, because we do have to sneak in a break, we're going to come back, but we have a few more minutes. Do the best candidates for these programs, where do they come from? Ages probably would vary. Do they tend to be someone who's gone through this themselves and wants to help others? What drives people into the program becoming a counselor, an expert who can help people on addiction?
What I love about this program the most, Jack, is that we have the traditional 18 to 24-year-old student. They usually come and they do an interview with me before they come into the program, and that's exactly the questions I ask. Why are you here? Why do you want to do this? Mm-hmm. I'd say 50% say, I have lived experience and I want to give back. Could
be someone in their family, could have been parents when they grew up. Yeah.
And then I have a really special population that's 40 to 65, 70. Who says, you know what, I made my career in corporate America, right. I've made my money,
want to help.
Now I want to do something that fulfills my heart.
That's awesome.
It's awesome.
How many students do you have in your programs, including that program that your colleague sort of got going there?
We have about 100 each, 100 in human service and 100 in addiction counseling.
Now, I guess the question, I know we're going to meet Brian in a moment, he's working in a school system as an expert. But are your students going into private work? Are they going to a facility that takes in, I'm trying to think of like Green Mountain, is that the name of it?
Correct, yep.
We've had them on. Do they go to work in medical and hospitals? I mean, where do your students go for employment?
Yep. They have to do a year-long internship as part of the program. And so part of the interview process, I ask them, what population are you interested in working with? There's approximately 20 to 30 addiction treatment centers in the state of New Hampshire, and some are a little further up north in the White Mountains, which is a little more difficult for our students, but they can work in hospitals, they can work in residential treatment centers, IOPs.
Just curious, why is that? Is it zoning? Is it because of the atmosphere to chill out? I mean, why are more of them in the North Country?
That's an interesting question, Jack. I don't know the answer to that.
Well, I didn't know you didn't know the answer to any question. That's what I heard about you. You know everything. That's what Emily. That's what the president told me. Just ask Kelly. Hey, we're just taking a quick break. We'll come back. We're going to say hi to Brian. Brian is working at a school in Concord, and he'll talk about what he does and what he's seeing, I think, with younger students and more. Our friends at New Hampshire Technical Institute, NHTI, and please check them out. If you want to be an adjunct professor, if you want to be a student, they are amazing. And I wish I had more time because I go do one or the other myself, but I don't. Brian is with us, and Brian is part of the team here, but he works, I think, at Runlet. Is that a middle school, elementary?
Yeah, it's Concord's only middle school, yeah.
Okay. So you went to NHTI to become a professional?
Correct.
In this field of addiction therapy or counseling? Is that the easiest way to put it?
Yep. The goal was to become a licensed alcohol and drug counselor at LADC. We call us LADACs.
So important, so important. And you're doing it in the school level?
So
what do you tell us about your job?
Okay, so I'm a contracted employee. I work for Second Start, which is a nonprofit, and I work in the middle school full-time as a prevention counselor. So I've been on both ends. When I left NHTI, I did finish up at SNU, and I got a job working in a local treatment facility here in Concord called Avenues, and I worked there for about 14 months as a group facilitator. So I was in the trenches, if you will.
tell me, and this is just I guess there are no dumb questions. Why are you working with younger people in the school versus, say, seniors in high school? Or I'm just curious the need and the demand and what you're finding. And maybe, I guess, if you start younger, you're going to save lives. Or
oh, absolutely. The truth is, I had a friend. I'm going to let the horse out of the barn here. I'm a person in long-term recovery, so sobriety, recovery is really important to me. And before I switched careers, before I ended up at NHTI, I worked in the food service for about 25 years. And I provided a lot of comfort to a lot of people, but they weren't losing weight. They were gaining weight with the comfort food. So I made a switch. I wanted to help people on a different level, on a mental health level. So that's what happened to me. And like I said, I went through NHTI. I can't say enough about it, and I'll talk more about it. But I did start in recovery. You know, that's why I went to NHTI, and it was amazing. And I still actually keep in touch with some of those clients. And one of them helped me with my case study, getting my LADAC, which is amazing. I told his story, you know, documented it. And I knew that there was a position at the high school, Concord High School, as well as Runlet, working with adolescents, and that really appealed to me. And so that's where I ended up. This is my 7th year, and it's beautiful and heartbreaking all at the same time.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to elaborate because your story is powerful, and I love it when something takes over and you want to help others in life. I met public safety people who were working in financial services, and I'm like, geez, you went to BC Business School and you were working at, I'll just say at Fidelity, making all that money. Why'd you become a New Hampshire State Trooper? I'll never forget it. And he could have played professional baseball. He was drafted. He said, I wanted to help people. I wasn't helping people. Your story of being in the hospitality industry, battling addiction yourself, and then taking that to help younger people must be very powerful, you know, spiritually very powerful for you.
Absolutely.
Now, you also said it's hard to elaborate a little more on your story, because I think this hits home.
Well, for the people that I tried to help who were adults in recovery or trying to get recovered in the treatment facility, they have children. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, you know, I'm a child of an alcoholic, and when I was 11, 12, 13, life was hard, and I had no one to talk to.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I didn't know how to talk to anybody about it.
Right. You just kind of locked it up and lived with it.
Didn't really say much about it, just kind of dealt with it. Actually, didn't deal with it.
You know how many how many people now who are older, who were younger, listening can relate to what you just said? I
hope so.
I bet you more than 60%. You have one parent or a grandparent or some adult figure in their life.
So let's be honest. I'm in a middle school. I work with 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old kids. I'm not going to grow up. So I'm right where I'm supposed to be. When these kids are sharing their experiences, I'm like, yeah.
I always say on my show, I grew up in Swampscott, Mass, but no, I never really grew up. Yeah.
I know, and I don't want to, but I'm helping these kids. And when I was hired during my interview, my supervisor said to me that unfortunately, you're probably not going to see a lot of beautiful things, but your job is to plant a seed for these kids, and that's what I do every day, all day, every day.
Well, you're meant to do it, so thank you.
Well, thank you. I've got a supervisor who works at Concord High School who does what I do.
Kudos to them for thinking of contracting you. I mean, let's go back to the school. Good, smart of them to. So good for Runlet to see that. Kelly, you're nodding. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just agreeing with Brian and thinking about when I do the interview with prospective students, I'll say, you know, why are you here? And they'll say, I want to help. And I'm like, well, that's great. But let's really talk about what this looks like, because you're not going to make a ton of money, right? Yeah. But you're going to be fulfilled. You're going to know that you're doing the right thing, that you're helping people. And this isn't an easy program. So I'm not going to come on the radio show and say, hey, this is going to be a real quick 2 years and you're going to love every second of it. I mean, our curriculum is likened to a bachelor's and master's degree. I mean, we train these people to go out there and work with people who suffer with this disease.
One of my kids helps people on the special ed front, and she'd tell me, Dad, you wouldn't believe how low the pay is. And I always stand to learn something and be corrected in life. I wish more people understood that sometimes, because everyone's always right. But one thing I'm learning, and we have time on this, I want you to comment, is I'm a conservative fiscal person and a market-driven type thinker, but I look at our society more and more as I age in place, and I'm like, how upside down is it that the careers that actually help people's lives, whether it's a nurse in a hospital, when you're being stitched up, special education counselor, addiction counselor, New Hampshire state trooper, or the other night in Troy, there was a pretty bad fire. I think it was fatal. And you're running in as a firefighter, or an EMT administering Narcan, or, someone standing on a bridge about to take their life, and you're the one talking them out of it. And you're not even getting paid enough to pay for your child care. And I'm like, I don't know the answers. I don't. But something's blank backwards here. Because where we're putting our priorities, and I'm not saying I can change that, but I think we need to, if we didn't have people like Brian here, and I'm sorry, your first name again?
Pete.
Pete, we're going to come back to you. You're too quiet, Pete. It's okay. Pete and Brian and you, if we didn't have people that didn't want to help people, and I got to tell you, I'm just going to share this. Changed my life. This past October, I wound up in one of these days. I worked out at Box in the morning. I feel great. I wound up in an emergency room with a medical situation. It was kind of emergent. And a few days later, I'm getting a surgery I didn't even know I needed. It was just one of these things. And I was fine. That's not the point. But the angels that would come in at 4 in the morning or 5 and the nurses and take care of you, and I'd talk to them about their life. And I'm like, you people are amazing. Just the way you are with your patients, and I hear you in the hallway, and all they say is, well, we just like to take care of people. We want to help. If we didn't have people like that, where would we be?
And that's the answer I want to hear in the interview, because I'll say, great, you can help anybody. You could be an accountant and help people.
Yeah.
What do you really want from this position? Because you're going to work long hours.
Yep.
The pay is mediocre. It's getting better than when I started in the profession, but this is a hard thing.
Kelly, we're going to talk with offline. Where I like to use my show now, and there's a reason why I keep doing the show. I'm able to do some good in the community through this micro. Where I think the solution is, we haven't talked about this yet, and maybe we'll come back with our guest. I want to do one more segment if we can. Employers, companies, the problem they are dealing with addiction is costing them money. It's costing them productivity. It's costing them attendance. It's costing them insurance. Mm-hmm. And if we can get some, and I think we could do this, I think if we get a couple big corporate leaders in the state to get companies to compensate these professionals, to come up with a fund. I mean, I'll reach out to the governor's office.
Let's go, Jack.
You get some companies in the state to create almost a trust fund where they're donating money from their company to battle addiction, a big problem in New Hampshire, mental health and addiction, to go to the professionals. So you answer my question. How much, well, I'm going to go to you, sir. You teach. One of your students who graduates, they get hired. What is their gross salary a year to help people battle alcohol and drug addiction?
My guess is probably between 30 and 40,000.
That's like 3 months of living right now.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's just say it's 50 grand, 40 grand if they're lucky. If we could somehow augment these people with another 50 grand a year, they could do more work and save lives. What the hell? Why would...
Seems simple, huh?
Well, there is money in the system. I'm not talking public money. I'm talking entrepreneurial, billionaire-type companies that this is in their interest, too. So what you have to do is you have to explain and point the company that if you give to this, you're helping your company. You're helping the bottom line. And when that starts lining up, we'll take a break. We're going to come back and talk more about the programs, how you can learn more, support this. New Hampshire Technical Institute. Alcohol addiction and drugs, it's a big problem. And if you don't think it is, you're living under a rock. Kelly do you head up the program at NHTI?
Correct.
And what's the name of the program?
It's the Associate's Degree in Science for Human Service and Addiction Counseling.
So that could be any drug, alcohol, anything that people get addicted to.
Absolutely.
And Lord knows we're seeing too much of that today. And a lot of it, according to the state police, is not the traditional alcohol. They're stopping people. I think we just saw it with a pretty famous pro golfer. They're stopping people that are impaired on other things.
Correct.
More and more every day, including prescription medication that is you shouldn't be driving when you're taking some of these medications. But the point is this. What can we do to increase the number of people in the field to support them and you? And this program's been around how long at NHTI?
Since the mid-'80s.
And I didn't know that till today, and today's April 1st, 2026. So I should have known this.
I think we can stop being the hidden gem of the state.
Well, you're a person who does all your marketing, is a champion at just bringing this stuff to light. She's done phenomenal work, and your president, Patrick, is,
amazing.
Yeah. So the story's getting out, but let me just ask you a question, not that I'm that intuitive, but are state agencies in this field working with your students as interns?
I think there are some agencies that are still in love with NHTI, are taking our students, but the landscape of substance use treatment has really changed over the past 5 or 6 years. So I think there's agencies out there that might not know what we do at NHTI. I think this is really important to talk about. I think it's important those agencies understand our curriculum, that we are likened to a bachelor's and a master's degree. We're not just associates who don't know anything. I mean, Brian can speak to this. He went through the program.
J-Dog, we've had the folks from NAMI on. I'm sorry, J-Dog, you might know. Who's the wonderful woman who heads up NAMI, J-Dog? She's been in our studio. What's her name, Sue?
Sue Stearns, I believe.
Sue Stearns. Does NAMI work with you and your folks? Are they aware of right here in Concord?
They did do a suicide prevention program with our wellness center maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So they should be familiar with us.
Brian, how can we help you? What are some of the things you're seeing with solutions? I always want to focus, because everyone talk about a problem, that's easy, but what are the solutions?
Well, I think for us, I think that we do need to get the name out, because the program is so amazing, and it is challenging, and it is no joke at all, and I did want to talk about, when I was, my 2 years at NHTI, I did 2 internships. One was at Farnham South, and the other was at New Freedom Academy in Canterbury, and both of those, Farnham South closed down, and New Freedom Academy is just mental health, not alcohol and drugs. So those are 2 practicum sites that are no longer available. So and the experience that I got at at my 2 intern sites where they helped me beyond. I was in the middle of all of it, in the thick of it. So we need more of that, and we need to get the word out there.
So, Kelly, before I forget, please tell me how you can contact you and your program, maybe meet with your professors here, learn more.
Come by my office in Grapponi Hall, room 220. You can email me at kluedtke@ccsnh.edu. You can call me at my direct extension. The number is 603-271-6484. My direct extension is 4174. Heck, send me smoke signals. I'll reach out back to you.
You're awesome. What were you doing prior to this?
I was a clinician. I was clinical director of Serenity Place in Manchester, and I also worked in the university system as a university counselor helping students with alcohol and drug.
Well, when I used to run WMUR and the news, I used to always, before we hired an anchor person or someone, I always look for the attitude. You have a tremendous personality. I'm just going to tell you that. I love it because that's what you need in leadership. We're beating around the bush on one thing, though, here, and maybe I'm going to let you each comment on this and we'll let you go. And good luck on your commencement May 15th, is the families out there that are struggling. I'm talking about parents, and I'm painting a picture for you. Child's living at home or not at home, maybe on the street some nights. Child's they're a young adult now. They're no longer like in high school. They're in their mid to late 20s or 30. They have an addiction problem. They've been in and out of places. The parents have no idea the system of the resources. Their kid may get into trouble with the police department. They just may be out with the wrong group. Heaven forbid they're going to take some synthetic fentanyl that they don't wake up from. And what I've learned from these folks, and you can probably speak to this, but when you're addicted, your body craves that fix more than anything on earth. And the cartels and the other people making this stuff, they don't care if you overdose, because I've always heard that when we talk about the overdose stuff. Well, Jack, why would these groups make drugs that are killing people? You don't understand. They don't care.
They're not going to run out of customers.
The addiction is so strong, and the person who's addicted, it takes over their chemicals, their brain, their body. So, but the parents that are trying to come up with a solution are lost in the system. They don't understand the legal part of it. They don't know, I think Brian mentioned this, they don't know these places that are no longer open or available to send their kids. They don't know what to do. And they're not sleeping at night. And I've seen friends of mine and people I know age in front of me 20 years because someone far smarter than me once said, you're only as happy as your unhappiest kid. And they don't know what to do. The family doesn't know what to do. And I've had my own kids' friends' families torn apart because one of their brothers or sisters my kids grew up with, the kid ended up overdosing. And there's a funeral. And the kid may have been 21 years old. We did a special on addiction at the Bank of New Hampshire, and I had these family came in, and I'll leave this one with you, from California. The father and mother spoke. Their son was in high school during the COVID crap, because that's what it was, I think. And they weren't in school, so the kids were bored, like kids will be. The kid was a star athlete, football player, handsome young kid, 17, 18. Made a fatal mistake that any kid could make. Mm-hmm. He went to the mall. He and his buddy met someone online. They wanted to try a one of these pain meds they thought would be cool. And the parents went in the bedroom one night, and he was slumped on the desk, dead from one pill. And they've spoken about this. They've gone around the country. And I don't know what to say, but there's more parents out there struggling with this with their kids. Not themselves, their kids. One kid's addicted. And the whole family, it changes the whole family. I've seen it 4 times, 5 times now, right here in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying to you, they need your help. They don't know where to go. They don't know how to navigate this system.
This system is a challenge. It's not perfect. For example, I'm trying to put together a list right now of what treatment options are available in New Hampshire, and
it's a matrix, right?
I was struggling to get through it.
And you're in the
I
field.
know what I'm looking for.
See, you know what we've done, Kelly, on the veteran side? I finally explained to everyone from the governor on down. If you're a veteran who's struggling, considering suicide, you're not going to go to a website and fill out a form.
No.
It could be 2 a.m. And I've met special operatives who you would just be amazed to sit in the same room. And one of them named Kirby said, Jack, I came home and I couldn't deal with the lives I had taken. And I said, what'd you do? He goes, I started drinking whiskey and another bottle and self-medicating. And then I wound up with a gun in my mouth in the basement. I was going to take my life finally. And a police officer came in from town, pointed a gun at me, and then realized he was a veteran too. Talked me down, talked me out of it, and he's now building homes and alive. But veterans, you need to call a place and talk to someone like you on the phone who says, hi, what's your name? I'm not a computer. I'm not artificial intelligence. You don't have to press 1 to speak. I'm talking to you. Where are you? What's going on?
Right.
Can we send someone over? That's what we need in addiction. We need someone, a parent can call and say, I don't know where my kid is. Do I call the police department? We need that's what we need.
They want to feel connected. They want to talk to somebody perhaps they know or have some relationship with. And New Hampshire's small enough to do that.
And if we can't get it right here, good luck in another bigger state, right?
You got it.
All right. One more time, how people can learn more. Brian, I'm sorry. I'd love to get you back. And you too, sir. Thank you for what you do. I didn't know the program. I didn't know the degree had been there that long. But thank you all for what you do.
Thank you, Jack.
If you want
Thank
to
you, Jack.
contact any of your team, what's the best way again?
You can contact me. You can come by my office in Grapponi Hall, room 220. You can call me directly at 603-271-6484. My direct extension is 4174. And please email me. All my information is on the website at nhti.edu.
Yeah, and I apologize I got so involved in this segment, but there's so many families that I know that it hits home, so I get a little bit personal on this because we need to raise the alarm.
Right. We
Jack?
appreciate your
Yes, sir.
passion.
A couple of things they could do is they could call 211 and reach out to the doorway. which is...
Can you
was set
say
up
that again, please?
211 and contact the Doorway, which is a...
Doorway?
Doorway is 9 facilities that have been set up around the state that Governor Sununu had set up to
Is
ensure...
a human being going to answer?
There'll be human beings that will... Well, 211 will be a human being, then they'll refer them over to the Doorway.
And I just asked this question. What if it's 3:35 in the morning?
Someone's going to answer the phone.
Okay, 211.
211.
I'm going to make... Okay, and you said
Okay.
another thing.
And then the other thing for parents, they could call one of the recovery community organizations around the state, such as Hope for New Hampshire in Manchester, or the Archways that's here in Concord, up in
Archways,
Plymouth
okay.
and Tilton. There's SOS over in the Seacoast. And they
Thank you.
could talk to folks who are in recovery that could give them some ideas.
Thank you very much. Thank you all very much.